Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Thursday workout. Let's begin today with a single bike of 40 or 32 calories. And then we're gonna switch to a couple rounds of big leg swings. So if you want to balance on these, that's fine. If you want to hang on to something and get a little bit bigger leg swing, that's great too. We're going to do unweighted windmills. So this is kind of a modified position, hip hinge, but both my feet will pivot in one direction, and then whichever direction they have pivoted, that's the arm that's going to be down. And I very much like the back of your hand to be on the inside of your leg and not the front of your hand. It changes the position of your torso just a little bit, and then the other hand is vertical. So both my arms should remain completely vertical, even though my hips are kicking out, I'm hinging forward, my body's leaning down. Don't let those arms go at any other angle other than vertical the whole time we're doing that. So as you stand back tall, we lock out the hips and my arms are still vertical. So 4 reps of that on each side. And then we're gonna get into our ring supports, right? And so the rings will be in a position that allow you to get to the top position of the ring dip, right? So that means my arms are all the way locked out and I'm holding for 15 seconds and then I'm lowering myself down and holding for 15 seconds, okay? And if you need to use pressure from your toes in order to do that, please do, but make sure that your shoulders are in the right position first before you apply the weight of your body to your hands, all right? Lastly will be a warm-up set of deadlifts, which is our strength element for today, but it's kind of mixed into our conditioning. So from the shins all the way up to the hips, making sure my shoulders are tight, my back is nice and tight, my belly's tight, and the bar stays in contact with my legs the whole time, all right? So that's my deadlifts. Do a couple extra sets of warm-up deadlifts, and then we're gonna get up to somewhere in the 65 or 65 to 75% of your deadlift, 1 rep max. Highly variable depending on the absolute weight of your maximum deadlift, right? So if you're in the 400 plus club, then I want you on the very low end of the weight percentage spectrum. If you're on the lower end, like say 200 pounds or less, then you can be up in the 75 or even heavier, right, for the weights. And today it's going to be sets of 8, but I want the reps to be clean and fast, right? So it should not be anywhere near failure when we do it today. And the way that we're working this is we're kind of mixing a relatively heavy strength element with our conditioning for our 1K row, right? So the way it'll work, it'll be 4 rounds through, not necessarily on a clock. There's a piece of it on the clock and then you're managing your time on the rower, but it's 8 deadlifts and then immediately to 250 meter row. So have your rower set up with the 250 meter countdown, plug that in on the rower, and then walk over to your bar and immediately perform 8 deadlifts and then right back to the rower, right? So it's a 250 meter row at a very fast pace. So I want you to shoot for say 2, 3, 4 seconds faster on your pace than your 1K row goal pace, right? So we're trying to do some speed work today, work on improving the top speed of our rowing. 250 meters at your goal pace should be a minute or under, right? So it's relatively fast, but it's over relatively quick. And then go immediately to a 1-minute plank. So you can do this on your hands like so. You can do it on your elbows if you'd like to, but just have your body nice and straight and hold for the minute. If you can't quite hold a minute of planking, let's say you get to like 45 seconds and you feel like you're either gonna push your butt up or you're gonna drop to the ground, see if you can just drop your knees but keep your abs engaged, right? So notice that the angle of my hips stayed the same. I just kind of pivoted down from my shoulders to drop my knees to the ground. This is still a challenging position if you're really, really tired or you're breathing heavy and your abs are worn out, okay? So try to stay engaged for the whole minute if you can on the plank, and then rest to full recovery. So it'll look different for different people. If you got a heavier deadlift, you rode a little bit faster, maybe you need a little bit more recovery, and that's totally fine. But when you feel like your breath and your heart rate have gone back down to appropriate levels, then get back on the deadlift bar or set your rower up and do your second set. You want to get 4 rounds through this, and that should take the majority of the class period to do it. And that's it for today, all right? Score your deadlift weights and record your row times as well. And for a row that's a 250, it's a convenient number. So whatever your time of the row is, then double that should be the same as your pace for what you rode today. So they're kind of the same thing on a workout like this one. All right, have a great one. See you guys on Friday.